So there are different types of biochemical reactions occur in our body, and during the process of biochemical reactions several types of toxic compounds are formed. So we have to release those toxic compounds, because if these types of toxic compound accumulate in our system, it affects in our normal function. So our normal functions, the normal cellular functions is disrupted. So we have to release the toxic compound. So one of these toxic compound is ammonia, actually ammonium ions, or you can say amino groups. So terrestrial animals uses unique types of cycle through which they can release the ammonia from their body. It is called as urea cycle. So urea cycle is a very important cycle through which we releases out our toxic the ammonia from our body, or you can say cell. So the amino groups are from different types of organ come into the liver. So liver is a main destinations of the amino groups. In the intestine there are several types of bacteria are present, and those types of bacteria oxidizes the amino acid into ammonia, or you can say amino groups, and this ammonia or amino groups finally enters into the liver, and liver used those types of ammonia in different types of compound, and finally excrete those compound from our body, and helps actually that helps in the excretion process of those compound. So the ammonia ion NH4 plus enters into the liver, or liver also forms NH4 plus, and these NH4 plus or ammonium ion with CO2 in the form of HCO3 form a compound that is called as carbamoyl phosphate. The CO2 is formed from cellular respirations. Now this carbamoyl phosphate donates its carbamoyl group. Now we have to understand an important enzyme. So this reaction is catalyzed by an important enzyme that is known as carbamoyl phosphate synthetase 1. So carbamoyl phosphate synthetase 1 regulate this type of process. This is the energy dependent process, and 2 ATP are used in the formation of carbamoyl phosphate. Now there is another types of enzyme present, that is carbamoyl phosphate synthetase 2. Although the names are same, but they provide different types of function. Carbamoyl phosphate synthetase 2 works on pyrimidine biosynthesis. On the other hand, carbamoyl phosphate synthetase 1 works on urea cycle. Now carbamoyl phosphate donates its carbamoyl group to a compound that is called ornithine. So ornithine accepts carbamoyl group from the carbamoyl phosphate and form citrulline. This reaction is the initiation step of the urea cycle and occurs inside the mitochondrial matrix. This reaction is catalyzed by ornithine transcarbamylase. So this reaction is catalyzed by ornithine transcarbamylase. Now citrulline, which is formed inside the mitochondrial matrix, enters into the cytosol. Now with the help of ATP form a citrulline AMP intermediate complex. Now the citrulline group of citrulline with the arginine, with the amino group of, with the amino group of aspartate form, actually not citrulline group, actually it is carbamoyl group, which is come from carbamoyl phosphate. So the carboxyl group of citrulline and the amino group of aspartate form a different compound, that is argininosuccinate. This reaction is catalyzed by an important enzyme known as argininosuccinate synthetase. As the name says, synthetase. Synthetase uses ATP as an energy source. On the other hand, the enzymes which are called as synthase does not use ATP as an energy source. Now this argininosuccinate later cleaves into arginine and fumarate with the help of an enzyme argininosuccinase. So argininosuccinase works on argininosuccinate and form arginine and fumarate. Fumarate later enters into the TCA cycle, and arginine provides the next steps of the cycle. Now this arginine which is present inside the cytosol of liver. So liver cell, these reactions occur in the liver cell that is called hepatocyte. So these types of reactions occur in the hepatocytes, and the arginine which is present in the cytoplasm of hepatocytes cleaves into urea and ornithine with the help of an enzyme arginase. So what is the role of arginase? Arginase cleaves arginine into urea, that is the main product of the urea cycle, and ornithine. Now the ornithine which is formed from this process enter into the inside of the mitochondrial matrix. Now, so this is the whole process. Now the urea which is formed from this cycle travels through bloodstream and finally reaches to the kidney and excrete out in the urine. So this is the whole process of the urea cycle. So main purpose of the urea cycle to excrete the extra ammonia or amino group from our body in the form of urea. Urea dissolved in water, so we can easily excrete out the ammonium ions through the urine. So this is